Hi, gang. Welcome to Behind the Rhinestones. I am your host, Dinah Dare, and here I speak to some of the stars of the cabaret and burlesque world, find out what happens behind those shiny rhinestones. If you do enjoy these, please do like and subscribe as there's new interviews for you on Sundays. Today I have one of our international superstars from England. It is the lovely Velma Vogue. Thank you very much for joining me today, Velma.
Hi, you okay?
Hey, how are you? I know you've had a busy weekend.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm very tired today. Had a big show last night. I was in Todmorden at the Frou Frou Club Halloween Spooktacular, produced by Lady Wildflower and Cabaret Against the Machine. It was a show with a live band. It was really full on, really busy, but it was really good. I really enjoyed it.
Amazing. Is that the first time you've danced with a live band?
Yeah, it was really good, like a whole new element of energy on the stage. So I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very excited to do that later this month. Probably by the time this has went out, it'll have passed. But I'm also excited to do the first time dancing with a
Yeah.
live band. So yeah, it'll be fun. Um, I haven't seen you since, but we met in the Alps this year, and then I saw you again in Vegas, which was super
Yes.
cute, which
Yes.
is wild to think that that was like, what, 5 months ago
I
now?
know. I can't believe how much time has passed. Just crazy.
It simultaneously feels like forever ago and also last week.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Sweet. So obviously, right, before we've chatted a bit, but I don't really know like your story. I think you just kind of started to pop up on my Instagram feed at some point, and I was like, oh, who's that? Follow, as I always do. So how did you actually get into burlesque?
Well, I've always been a dancer my whole life. So I did dance when I was a kid, and I used to do like competition freestyle dancing. Yeah, which is quite crazy. But they basically tell you by the age of like 21, it's like you have to retire. And so like I was, yeah, right. And so I was a dancer and I kind of like didn't really, because of that, I didn't really see much future in it. So
Mhm.
that's when I stopped dancing and I chose to go to uni and study fashion design. And then after uni, after all the drinking and partying, I was like, I should probably go back into dancing. And I loved performing. I've always been involved in like drama and theatre and stuff as well. And I was like, I really wanted to get back into dancing again, and I wanted the chance to perform. And in most of the dance like disciplines, you kind of feel like you're too old or you're not flexible enough or like you're too this or too that. And like burlesque, which I first saw when I was at uni, I went to a show at the Wet Spot in Leeds at Belgrave. And that really inspired me. And I saw other people that looked like me on stage. And I was like, oh my God, this is how I could get into the dancing industry again and like perform again. Um, and then so like a couple of years later, after I set up my own business, I finally had time to spare. So I started going to Aurora Nova's burlesque classes. This was like just before COVID, and then we all know what happened then.
Yeah, the dreaded lockdown and the fucking
Yeah.
ceased to be. Yeah.
And then so after lockdown, started going back to the classes and stuff and getting more involved. And I thought like, oh, this is something I could really do. And then it just all kind of exploded, I guess, from there. Like after I debuted, I started to apply for festivals and shows and yeah, it's been going good ever since. So yeah.
Yeah, I definitely feel like your trajectory from the outside went like this.
Yeah.
Whoo!
Yeah, it kind of the first year was tough actually. I didn't get many shows, and obviously it's like difficult being a newbie and how you place yourself in the industry and stuff. But I felt like once I kind of had done a few shows and really put myself out there, and like I was behind the scenes, I was grafting. I was really trying. I was trying to make good acts. I was trying to learn my history. I was trying to be more involved, go to shows, see what other people were doing. And then yeah, and then it kind of like took off. But yeah, my first year was very, very slow. I think I did one show in my first year. So yeah, yeah.
To
maybe
be
two.
fair, you coming out of lockdown as well, like
Yeah,
even a few years after lockdown, like that was a rough time
yeah, it was. Yeah, yeah.
to get any work, I remember. I remember it well. Um, but that's amazing. And like I think you can see your dance background when you're performing as
Yeah.
well. So that must have kind of it must be really nice to be able to do that, especially being told to stop at 21. That's
Yeah.
fucking wild.
I think it was like you kind of aged out because that's where the age group, like that competition group
Right.
stopped. But
Hmm.
then what was quite sad was that they didn't tell you what to do after that. Like what was your future after that in dance? They were just kind of like, oh, you do this until you're 21 and then you go off and do a different career. There was never any like, oh, but you could continue to train and do this or this, you know? So it was like it was very like narrow-minded into like that specific type of dancing. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad it worked out because I think I had that all have not happened, I wouldn't have gone down the path that I did. So yeah.
And you have a lot more creative freedom now. So
Oh
speaking
yeah.
about that, yeah. So speaking about that, sort of where do you pull your inspiration from and what is your kind of creative process like?
I pull a lot of my inspiration actually from the fashion industry
Mm.
because that's what I studied. And same again, similarly to the dance industry, when I was designing, when I was like at university and designing clothes and stuff, they were always to fit like a size 6 model.
Yeah.
And I was designing all these cool things that I would have loved to have worn, like really like high-end, like haute couture style garments that, you know, would look great on my body too. And I think I never got a chance to kind of make anything for myself during uni. Like I literally was just making for skinnier people.
Yeah.
Um, and then when I got into burlesque, I was like, this is my chance. I can make anything. I can make all these designs come to life. And my Vogue act, actually, the red one with the big hat, I actually designed that in uni and made it at uni, but for like obviously like a smaller model. And it went on the catwalk and everything. It wasn't the same colours, but the skirt design was exactly the same and the hat and everything. And so like I basically just brought it to life and made it to fit me. And like I think that I love that act a lot because of that reason, because it really did feel like I kind of I don't know how to explain it, but it felt like I'd finally like got my money's worth out of my degree. You know, like I always wanted to do that. I always wanted to design for me, and you know, it kind of when I first got into the fashion industry, that wasn't an option. So
Yeah.
this was kind of also a great opportunity, not just to be able to dance again, but be able to design and design for me. So
Mhm.
I think when I do create an act, a lot of it does start out with the costume. Like I
Yeah.
very rarely start with the song, which is awful way around of doing it because then I have to struggle for months trying to find a song that'll fit with this costume that I've designed.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah,
The pain of finding a song to match.
yeah, absolutely, 100%.
I love that though, because you're getting to like I saw your Vogue act in the Alps,
Yeah,
which is gorgeous, and I love that you also get to show that those designs don't just look good on these, size 6 bodies. They look good on
yeah.
every body,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
and that's such an interesting aspect. That also explains why like your costumes are they're gorgeous and they're very like unique, and that explains a lot of your pulling a lot from that kind of fashion background that you have as well.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Do you have specific like designers or eras or anything that you tend to pull from for fashion?
Um, so I mean it's very cliche, but my favorite designer has always been Alexander McQueen. Not just because of all the cool work that he created, but he like once famously said, you've got to learn the rules before you can break them.
Hmm.
Which is kind of how I've lived my fashion career as well. So I became a tailor so that I understood and knew how to create for bodies, like because it's the only industry where you don't just design for like a mannequin, you
Yeah.
design on people.
Hmm.
And then you learn a lot about how to create clothes for different bodies and how to manipulate patterns to fit different people and stuff. And that's essentially what he did in his career too. Like he went to be study to be a tailor first before he became a fashion designer. And then because of that, because you understand how patterns work and clothes are created and all that kind of stuff, you're able to then create the weird and wonderful stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the somebody who I really look up to. In terms of like eras, I guess I love the 70s era of fashion. Like I love a flare. But I'm yet to create an act with something like that. So yeah, I don't really feel like I have a particular era that I kind of design from when it comes to burlesque. It's more of like the concept that drives it. And if the concept happens to be something that looks like a reference from a historical era. So like Vogue, for example, my red act, it looks very 80s. The
Yeah.
music is very 80s. Like everything
Hmm.
about it is that. And that's why I added like the big shoulder pad, like sleeve things and the big hat and the hair and the big, hips and stuff. And it just kind of fell into that category. It wasn't as if I purposely pulled inspiration from it, if that makes sense.
No, I know what you mean. It was
Yeah.
more, it evolved that way because that's where the act was going, I suppose.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. Also, Alexander McQueen is a vibe. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, all of his work was incredible. So I'm always like referencing all, especially like his really early stuff, which was like always very conceptual as well. And burlesque is conceptual, and like I think some of the best acts have a really good concept and like or a message or whatever. And I think that's a good place to start when you're creating something too. Is like, what am I trying to say? Who is my character? What am I trying to be? And then that's essentially how he would design as well. He would find a concept and really delve deep into it, and thought like, oh, what would this person be wearing in the future, and what would they look like, and what shapes would they be wearing, and that kind of thing. And yeah, so I think I kind of try and create like that.
Yeah.
So
That I like that. I think
yeah,
that's an interesting way of doing it, and you're one of the few people I know that do costume first as well, that I've kind of spoken to. A lot of people do music first.
yeah,
Um,
it is the easier way around.
but I
Device
love that
one.
because like uh, it is the easy way around, but at the same time, it can sometimes restrict maybe your costume in your head. I think you can maybe
Yes.
end up like
Yeah.
kind of falling into this like tropes, or you don't necessarily think outside the box because you maybe start to
Yeah.
visualize it already. So
Yeah.
yeah, there's pros and cons to each side, I suppose.
Yeah. I think Drowning though, my blue act,
Hmm.
that song was really easy to find. So like I think I'd heard the song already and the song almost made me think of an outfit, but then I
Mm.
had to find other songs to go with it because the actual song itself wasn't long enough. And I kind of didn't really feel like it told the story I wanted it to. So
Hmm.
like I really wanted to like I have like this little false ending and then I come alive at the end and like there's a different song for that section. But that act is actually about kind of like how busy and hectic my life is. And constantly feeling like overwhelmed with the amount of work that I have to do. So yeah, I really love performing it because it's like a release of like
Mm.
anxiety and tension and yeah, it feels really good performing that act. Yeah.
Kind of cathartic.
Cathartic is the word. Yeah, 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 100%. Yeah,
I could
yeah.
see you looking for a word, and I was like, I
Yeah, I
think I
was
know
like,
what it
yeah,
is.
yeah.
So obviously you're talking about some of your acts there that you've got. Do you think that you have changed much as a performer from when you have started in any big ways, or do you think it's just an evolution of who you were when you started?
I I definitely think it's an evolution. I
Hmm.
don't feel like watching myself now and watching myself perform at the start, I definitely see the same person. I feel more comfortable on stage now. At first, there's obviously a lot of fear, and it's very nerve-wracking, and it's a big thing. And I think getting back into performing again after so many years of not doing it was quite a challenge. But I feel really comfortable on stage now, and obviously I still get nervous, but I feel like if something goes wrong, I trust myself that I can handle it, and I can get myself out of the situation or whatever. So yeah, but I definitely think that my makeup skills have got better, and my like ability to not like I don't feel like the necessary to like throw everything at an act. When I first started, I was always like my first act, Boss Bitch, I was like, right, okay, I'm going to do this and this and this, and I'm going to throw this trick in, and then I'm going to do this. And I was like, this is too much.
Yeah.
And I can't physically perform it. So I've kind of learned to edit and learned to, yeah, like cut back, and it's okay to like stand still for a couple of seconds, you know?
Oh God, yeah, we all learn that at one point, right? When you're
Yeah.
starting, you're like, let's throw every prop and every move,
Yeah.
and I can't stay still for 2 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
100%. And I've learned that that's okay to do that, and to edit and cut back and refine and elevate. So yeah.
no, I love that. There was something I was going to ask, and it's been right out of my brain. So if it comes back, I will look back. I got
Yeah, sure.
distracted by pets. Um, you have done a lot of festivals. We've talked about how you've literally just come back from two a couple of weeks ago. What is it that you specifically like about festivals?
Um, there's a lot of things I really love about festivals. The main thing for me, obviously, I love traveling, but I love meeting people that I wouldn't
Mm.
necessarily get to meet. Like I've now got friends in like Switzerland and Sweden and Germany and France, and it's like, and I talk to these people like on a weekly basis, which is crazy. Do you know what I mean? And like I
Yeah.
would have never have met these people and be inspired by these people had I not have gone. And I think inspiration as well, like obviously UK burlesque has a very it's not we're not all the same, but we have a certain style, right?
Yeah.
Everyone has their
Yep.
certain
Yep.
style. And it might be different to what like French burlesque looks like, or whatever. And it's really great to kind of go into these different countries and meet these people and performers and see what their point of view is, and like what they're bringing to the stage. And um, it's great to kind of, I don't want to say like networking because it sounds like so um,
But
uh,
it is.
like
It is. It's
clinical, but it
making
is.
your the way someone said this to me once, and I can't remember who it was, but they were like they're making connections, and I was like, that sounds nicer than networking.
Networking just sounds so like office, like clinical, like it sounds like it's not real, like you're faking it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like it isn't, it's more than that. Like you genuinely become friends with these people, and you support them, and you talk to them and that kind of thing. Like it's different as just like a business connection where you're just using them for something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But definitely for that. And obviously, like I said, I love traveling. So I get to go to these like amazing places that I never ever would have thought to have gone. Like I went to Oulu in Finland last year, which is like I was just like, when would I have just come here on holiday? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been great for that too. And being able to perform in different countries, and not only see what these countries have to offer, but like what I can show them as well. And like I
Yeah.
get to spread my burlesque around as well, which is great, and like move people. Um and yeah, I think that's why. I mean, don't get me wrong, they cost a lot of money to do, but I do feel like there's value in them, especially if you choose the right ones as well.
Choosing the right ones is the hard part of it. I think
Yeah,
especially when you're starting,
yeah,
um, because it can be really like there's big ones that everyone knows about, everyone knows are good, and they're the ones that can be quite difficult to get into. And then there's So then there's everything else, and you're like, what do I apply to? What's good? What isn't? It can
Mhm.
be a bit of a minefield sometimes, I think.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I was very lucky having Aurora as like my, burlesque mother, I guess. She kind of like guide me and tell me which and give me advice. And she obviously has like real life experience too. Like she's done quite a lot of them herself, and she was able to tell me like, oh yeah, this one's really good, and the producers are really nice, and they really look after their performers and stuff, which is always great. And then we both did Malta together on the first year of that festival, and we had a great time. Do you know? And it was great that we could do one together and like have this little mini girls trip together. um, and yeah, that in itself was a great experience. Like, because you don't always get to just randomly go on holiday with your friends either. So, it was a really nice excuse to go again somewhere else I would never think to go, but was beautiful. So
I've heard really positive things about the Maltese Festival, actually. A few people have said that it was lovely.
yeah, it's really good. The producer really takes care of the performers, and the show's great, and like the community that she's built out there as well is amazing. And like even just little things, like we had a pool party on the Saturday.
Yes. Oh.
And that was great. Everyone was like hanging out and like I like a festival where they have like an officially arranged meetup for everybody, whether it's like a pool party or like a brunch on the Sunday or like an evening meal or something, because it just gives you a chance to like just talk to these people as people and like find out, who they are and what they do and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I love
Outside of the confines of being backstage where everyone's like, well, I'm going to perform and I'm
it.
getting ready and everyone's in,
Exactly.
like,
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
it's
some
hard.
people
It's
need,
hard to get to know people in that environment. So yeah.
some people want quiet and other people want to talk. And yeah, it's always
Mm.
an interesting experience.
I always find that I'm like halfway through my makeup and I'm having a conversation with someone, and then I have to stop and concentrate, and then I forget my train of thought. And they're like, "Is she okay?" She's just like gone silent. I'm like, I'm just doing my
Yeah, you're like, no, I have to look at what I'm doing. Um, I love that. You've obviously mentioned that you own your own business, you sew, you create, you
yeah.
design.
Yeah.
So you do all of your own costumes?
Yes, I am very fortunate. Obviously, as I've mentioned, went to art school, have a degree in fashion, and then I became a tailor. And then a couple of years into that, I set up my own bespoke tailoring company. We've been going for 6 years now, which is great. And yeah, so because of that, I obviously have like a massive studio filled with loads of sewing machines and equipment. And so, like, when I decided to do burlesque, it was like there was no second thought that I was ever going to get anyone else to make them. I was always like, why would I pay someone else when I can do it myself? However, sometimes it's like a curse as well as a blessing, because I am quite harsh, like critical of myself as well when I'm sewing. And so like I have remade quite a few of my costumes quite a few times. And I'm currently in the middle of remaking my drowning costume at the moment. So
Why?
because it is falling apart, to be fair, like because it's tulle and I throw it and I run around with it. There's a lot of holes in it and it's kind of like falling apart. And like when I first made it, again, because I'm just like perpetually busy, I always do things in a rush. And then I'm like, oh my God, I'm debuting this act in 2 weeks. Like, I need to make the costume. And then I just kind of rushed the first version of that costume, and I've just kind of kept it ever since because it was like I was busy and doing festivals and people wanted to book it, and I was like, I don't want to like pause getting this out to the world, so here it is. And it's done me well. Like I've had that costume for like 2 years now, and it's obviously like been all over the world with me, and I've done that quite a lot of shows and stuff. But yeah, it's kind of getting to the point now where I'm like, oh, I really need to upgrade this a little bit. I'm gonna keep parts of it. Like I'm gonna recycle it because I do hate throwing things away. So like the dress will be kind of like the fabric of the dress will be recycled as much as I can. The bits that aren't just with massive holes in. But the base layer and I'm gonna add an extra layer as well underneath. So it's gonna have like another reveal. So yeah, yes.
I love that. I feel like art's always evolving and changing, and costumes are like a massive part of that as well.
Yeah, and I feel like I've changed a little bit since I first debuted that act, and I kind of in my head I wanted it to look a certain way, and then because of like the journey that I've been on and the other burlesque that I've seen, and especially going to Vegas as well, like that was really inspiring for costumes and acts and all that kind of stuff. And it's kind of led me to think maybe it has like maybe I want to change it a little bit. Like I've never been happy with the length of it, and do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
all these tiny little things, and I think it's good to keep on. Like I said, I'm not gonna fully throw it away. But I think it's good to kind of like evolve and upgrade, and you know, kind of
That's totally part of the process.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I've definitely got acts that have went through multiple versions of the
yeah.
costume. Then you're like, oh yeah, that's what maybe do. Um, you also make costumes for like Oranova's trips, like student shows and stuff, don't you?
Um, yes, I didn't this year. I do normally. I have done for the past, I think, 4 years, maybe. Um, Maybe it was three. But this year I didn't, and I wasn't involved in the show other than being a stage kitten this year. But that was just because my actual day job was ridiculously busy. And I was like, I don't have the capacity because she every year she gets more and more students, and I'm like, I can't, I can't. It's just more costumes. But yeah, I didn't this year. We'll see next year where my business is and like if I can, spare the time to do them because obviously like making 40 burlesque costumes is a lot of work. So yeah.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah.
You've kind of said a few times like your life is very busy, and you sort of talked about how drowning is an act where it's about that sort of being overwhelmed or feeling that you're drowning in everything. Um, how do you find a balance? How do you find one? Because like it sounds like you own your own business, which is overwhelming. Burlesque takes over every life that people like.
Yeah.
If you decide to perform it, it fucking takes over.
Mhm.
Have you found a balance? Are you still trying to find that balance?
I think my entire life, I've always been like this. I've always been very busy, had multiple things going on. This is definitely the busiest my life has ever been, because I'm also renovating a house, and we have a dog, so there's always a lot happening. But I enjoy being busy. I work well under pressure, and I think I create well under this environment. So like I kind of don't know anything else but this. And like even doing like a fashion degree, that was insane. I was doing like 14, 15 hours a day in uni, just to keep up with like the workload. So I've always been used to it. But I don't get me wrong, I obviously go dancing a lot as well, which is my like release. So I do like classes with Aurora every week, and I go to my local pole studio and do a few classes there, and I feel that is kind of like my chance to like not be I don't have to be creative, I don't have to be in charge. I just rock up and bang about on the floor and have a good time. And that's kind of like my release and like my that's how I get like the joy out of it. Because obviously, as you know, sometimes it can be quite overwhelming and take over your life. And sometimes you think like, oh my God, why am I doing this? But I really do enjoy it. And because I'm very lucky to own my own business and it's in something that I really love doing. Sounds so cheesy, but I feel like when you do something you love, like you feel like you don't work at all. And because I love my job and I love going into my studio and I love making suits, I really don't feel like I like work that hard.
Yeah.
Even though to people on the outside, they're like, girl, calm down. Just take a break.
You're like, no, I'm having a lovely time. This is
Yeah, I had a
fine.
great time.
Well, that's good. As long as it
Yeah.
works for you. I think that's the most important thing. Like, as long as
Yeah.
whatever your life looks like, as long as it works for you, then
Yeah, yeah. And I'm very lucky that I've got a lot of people around me as well that support me. I have a business partner who obviously shares the burden of that. I live with my best friend and we own the house and the dog, and she's basically my wife. And obviously like she keeps me sane at home and we take care of the house and the dog together. And I have Aurora to kind of go through this burlesque journey with. So
yeah.
I feel like because of that, I have outlets and people that I can talk to when things are getting a bit too much. And yeah, I think the worst time it ever was like 2 years ago, I think it was so crazy busy. Everything was on like getting too much. And that's when I created the Drowning Act. um, but I feel like as you go through those periods in your life, though, you kind of realize that you can deal with more and more stuff and it doesn't affect you in the same way, too. So, yeah, yeah. But I enjoy it. I enjoy being busy. I enjoy moving around and yeah, so.
That's fine. As long as it works for you, that's fine.
Yeah.
Um, just kind of going back to like your journey as a performer there. So what do you think has been like the biggest learning curve for you?
Oh God. Um, I guess the learning like that not everyone's gonna love your burlesque, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because like for example, I was getting to the point where I felt like wasn't getting booked that much and I was really struggling to get gigs and I thought it was me and I created my diva act, which is the white one with the big fluffy boa and stuff, and it's very like classic looking. And that's not very me. And I kind of created it to fit in with the industry and in the hopes that this act might lead to more bookings and getting noticed by other shows that were looking for more classic performers. And I think I was talking to Lily Snatch Dragon once, and she said to me, like, just do you, because your burlesque is the reason why you get booked. And I don't really get booked very often for my classic act. So that says a lot. It just took time. And I think like you compare yourself a lot to other people around you, your peers. Like I debuted the same time as quite a few other performers that I'm friends with, and you're always looking and comparing how often they're getting booked and what shows they're doing, and you think like, oh God, like is it me? Am I just not good? And so yeah, it took me a while to kind of realize that like the people who want to book me for what I do, that's a show worth doing, you know? I'm
Yeah.
not trying to do every show because every show's not going to want me, and that's okay, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I totally get that.
Yeah.
I think the first act that a person makes is probably the most truest form of their burlesque because chances are they are making it without all the pressure and the
Mhm.
preconceptions of getting booked.
Yeah.
Like it's the most distilled version of, at least at that point in time, the most distilled version of like this is your style of burlesque.
Yeah.
Because I definitely did the same. I created acts to get booked,
Yeah.
and I don't do them now.
Yeah. And I feel like you don't enjoy doing it as much, right? Like you're just like, "Ugh, did I want this act?" Yeah. And I feel like you've got to stick to who you are, and eventually you will get booked and people will notice you, you know? And then I feel like people always come up to me after the show and they're like, oh, like, I loved watching your Drowning act. That was so different. I don't see that every show because you know what I mean? Like, and I think
Yeah.
that's when you kind of stand out. And so yeah, I think just like learning how to stick to who I am and just produce burlesque acts that are me
Mhm.
is definitely was definitely like the hardest thing to learn because for a long time I was just trying to like please the producers and the industry and what am I supposed to look like, and but I think it's the best when you just stick to yourself.
Yeah.
So
No,
yeah. Thanks to Lily for that breakthrough.
You were like, light bulb moment. Woohoo!
Yeah.
So on that then, like what, in your opinion, and I always caveat this is opinion, makes a good performer?
I think it's just it's the stage presence for me.
Mm.
Like it's just being able to truly captivate the audience in whatever way that might be. Um, Obviously in Vegas, we saw Gigi Holiday doing her act where she just has a glove, and that was insane. It was just gloves. She had just pasties and a G-string on, and it was beautiful because like her it's just like this aura that you release and what the audience is getting from you. I think that to me is what makes a good performer. You know?
And that's a hard thing to learn and teach. Like you kind of have
Yes.
to just work that one out for yourself.
Yes. Yeah. I think you've got to perform a few times and get comfortable with yourself and get comfortable with the audience and get comfortable with being vulnerable to be able to get to that point for sure. Yeah.
It's such a hard one. But yeah, it's a good one. I like that answer, thanks.
Yes.
Um, you have obviously done, we've talked about how your career kind of took off after, the first kind of year. But what other sort of goals do you have for your burlesque career?
Oh my God. I just try to survive every year. Stay relevant. I I had to think about this, obviously, when I was on my recent European trip when I did Stockholm and Bavarian, because I was like, where do I want to go with this? Like, how long am I gonna keep going? And because I do love traveling, like I would love to do more traveling, go to different places. I've never performed in the US or
Mm.
Canada or Australia. These are all places that I'd love to go, not just to visit, but to perform and again, like express who I am across other continents.
Yeah.
I definitely want to do that. I want to keep creating and I want to keep inspiring people, again, people who look like me, who maybe look a bit different and aren't what you expect to see when you watch a burlesque performer, and inspire them to even just feel a little bit more confident about wearing something, or about how they look at their body or whatever. And to me, that's, I think, like, burlesque shows give people they inspire the audience and they give the audience like hope and they give the audience joy, and I just want to keep on doing that, and like I say, travel whilst I'm doing it. Go see the rest of the world. And obviously there's like certain shows I would love to get into and to be a part of. So yeah, and just keep creating acts that are like me, and yeah, and learn more tricks. I think that's such a specific one.
You're like such a very
Yeah.
niche one right in there, but just that one as well.
Yeah. Because I love throwing out a fish flop. Everyone knows that, and I like to have my cool tricks and my acts and stuff, and I really do enjoy like pushing myself through like pole and like the gymnastics and Aurora's classes and things, and yeah, I just want to keep on training and show, because a lot of the times I actually get this response from people is like, oh my God, like I can't believe you can move your body like that, like, and I think I kind of, it's a bit of a backhanded compliment, but I'm kind of
Yeah, I was
glad.
going to say that's one of those ones that you're like, mm.
Yeah, it is a bit of a backhanded compliment, but in some ways I'm just like, well, yeah, if I can do it, why aren't you doing it, like I usually have that response. I'm like, well, yeah, you could do it too if you trained, or if you did this, or if you did that. Yeah, so I think doing all that, yeah.
Yeah, I love watching videos of you like fish flopping around on fish flops give me the fucking fear. The amount of times people have tried to teach me them because I do a bit of pole as well and like floor work and stuff,
Yeah.
and I just have the absolute fear of them. I don't know
Yeah,
why.
I love doing it. It feels really good on the body. Like I don't feel in danger at all. So
It
it feels,
looks so good. I just
yeah,
need to commit to it.
yeah, you definitely need to commit. That you can't half-ass it, 'cause if you get halfway, you're just gonna like, and it's painful.
Yes.
So
I
yeah.
always end up just doing a backward row and I'm like, oh well, I got here.
That's how it started for me though. Like I started just doing back rolls and front rolls and you just get more confident and but like I think people just think I just do it. Like I train a lot every week to make sure that I can still keep on doing it. And like my shoulder stands and handstands and stuff I'm learning at the moment, which Aurora's teaching me. Like all that stuff, I'm like doing it like every week to like keep going with it. And I think people think that I just like woke up one day and just did it. So yeah, yeah.
Just because you're talking about handstands and stuff, do you follow Scarlet Raven?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Because have you seen her do her headstand into a kip?
Yeah, it's insane.
Dead.
I really want to learn how to do that this year.
That's immediately what I thought of when you were like
Yeah.
headstands and handstands. I was like, this is the trick she's gonna kick out of. I've seen her do that because she's friends with the owner of the pole studio I go to, so she's up here like she's in Glasgow quite a lot. I saw her do it at one of the shows and I was just like my jaw just fell
Yeah.
off and went
Yeah.
a walk. I was like, what the hell? So I look forward to seeing you doing that on a stage at some point next year.
Maybe not the headstand because I actually hate doing headstands because it really hurts my head. But handstand, yeah. And a cape, yes.
I can't wait to see it. Um, yeah, I think that's kind of we have yapped away, which has been really cute. Where is it that people can follow you on various socials?
So Instagram is at Velma Vogue Burlesque. It's Velma Vogue on Facebook. I have a website which no one ever visits, so please do. That's just velmavogue.com. And that's it.
Cute. I also have a website that I pay for that no one ever fucking goes on, and I'm
Yeah.
like, thanks, guys.
Put all this effort into making it and no one uses it.
Right, right. But you need to have one.
Yeah, it just looks good, right? Like it looks professional and like you know what you're doing. So
I love how it's like we know what we're doing.
yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today. It was delightful to chat to you, and hopefully we'll get to hang about and together in person soon.
Yeah, I know, hopefully. Yeah. Thank you so much for having me.
No, you're welcome. Thank you so much, lovely. Bye.
Bye.